Hello and welcome, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny, and today I'm doing a layout in connection with the Inspiration Collaboration Design team. I suggest you go and check out everybody else's videos as well at the end. And if you want to see more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. But our theme today is a summer or autumn festival. So, when you see this title, Prom at Leeds Castle, some of you might be thinking that it's a dancing party type thing to celebrate the end of school time. It's not. It's prom as in the last night of the proms, the BBC Proms series. Leeds Castle, again, misleading to some people. Some people are very aware of a very large city called Leeds in the north of England. But there is also another Leeds in the south of England. It is just outside Maidstone, and it's a little village. And Leeds Castle is where Anne Boleyn grew up, I think. I might be misremembering that, but I think it is. Okay. So, where I started with this was actually not with the title or anything. I started with a card layout, card sketch from Tawnya, Tawnya Roberts of Scraptastic Creations. And her card sketch was actually that way up, so I've done that on the left hand side, with a diagonal cut across the front, and then a smaller diagonal cut in the other direction across the front. So that was where I started. And so I used that as my background. Now, the reason why I went with this particular paper, Violet Dreams, is because in here there are a couple of pages that are absolutely perfect for doing diagonal cuts on. This is the one that I used, but there's also this one, which I've used on another layout, which I will be filming for later on in the year. See that there are these little diamond shapes, and if you follow the line of that, then you don't quite, it doesn't go corner to corner, but you do get a lovely half a page for each side of your layout, which is rather beautiful. And the way that I cut it, I actually had one row in the middle because I wanted to have the same amount on each side of the layout. So I cut it with one row in the middle. And this dark blue is from the back of the purple diamonds. Purple diamonds with, why don't I just get the whole lot out? That would be sensible, wouldn't it? There we go. Yes, so the purple diamonds have this Secret Scene spotty paper on the back, and if you look at it closely you can see that it's a cloth type texture as well, which ties in very nicely with the quilting theme that they've got going on with the stitched season. So I am using that. In fact, I'm using the whole of this in with that as well, because obviously when you're quilting you can make things using diamonds quite a bit, and so I'm using that as well. On the back of this paper, it's a lovely green with little sort of spotty diamondy things. Don't know if you can see them. Yeah. And again, the texture, such a beautiful texture. So other pages that we've got in here are this lovely purple tone on tone and stripe. This is hydrangea hue, which is probably the thing that, along with the purple, made me pick up this particular pack, was the hydrangea hue included. And then there's this page and this page. So I don't know whether whether you like to do this as well, but I really like paper where I can cut out embellishments from it. This paper sort of, in my mind at least, I don't know whether it was their intention or not, but sort of replaces this lavender, perennial lavender I think it was called. I still have a whole pack of it. I bought rather a lot of it because I really like it a lot. Again, it's got this beautiful purple, same beautiful purple to be. And again, lovely tone on tone and big, larger patterns, larger background patterns, smaller background patterns, whole pile of leaves. There's one very similar to this in the moth paper, Moonlit Flora. But where they've put the pieces together in a pattern like this, this is very difficult to cut apart to get just one sprig to put as the front, as like the front piece on your card, or use as embellishments on a layout. But this, you can absolutely cut out each bunch individually if you wanted to, and if you want to keep it as the paper itself, they've put all these little tiny white flowers in between to give it some continuity and make it look like a pattern that's a whole pattern rather than just a whole bunch of flowers that have been plopped together. And on the other side it's got this absolutely gorgeous fresh freesia tone on tone, which I love. And this particular sheet, I was really unsure whether I wanted to cut it up or not. So I've cut up one and kept the other. This other sheet with larger sprigs of flowers, larger little bunches, again, I cut up one sheet and left the other one. It's got this very neutral tone on tone, pinks. I see that as pink. It's actually the light side of fresh freesia. If you look, it's the same colour. That's the background. And again, these have both got the material texture on them. It's this very thin stripe, and it made me think of ice cream. I'm not entirely sure why, but it made me think of ice cream. So I only cut up one sheet. So I have a little box of, get it around the right way, little box of pieces that I've cut out, and that's what one of each sheet gives you. Those, and I've used them on 2 layouts. So that's quite a few bits really from 2 sheets. We'll come back to that little box in a moment. The other thing with this particular paper is that you get 2 sheets of cut aparts. So you can, like, these are already cut apart, these are already punched out, so you just need to add glue to the back or foam tape to the back, whatever, and you've got 4 big pieces that you can put straight on the front of a card, for example, or you could use them as the main points of focus for your clusters. And then it's got 4 that you can colour in whatever colour you want to match your project, which I think is absolutely fab. Or maybe match your photographs and bring some colour from your photographs into your clusters. And then there are these 3 pieces on each of the 2 sheets where you have, you've got an outer frame and an inner frame. So if you wanted to, you could, for example, put the inner frame straight onto the paper and then pop the outer frame up on foam tape and have it showcasing something. For example, maybe there's a ticket for maybe a ticket or a other little souvenir that you picked up when you were at a particular place. You could put one of those on one of these backgrounds. There's a white background, this is fresh freesia again, and this is hydrangea hue, and this has Secret Sea around the outside. I like the fact that they've not used black on this. And everywhere that looks as though it's black is Secret C. So I'm going to pop that out. The other piece of paper that I've used here is one that I got from my stash. I haven't used any of these push-out pieces just yet because I have an idea for them in mind. I haven't done it yet. And if you like this paper, you might want to go and check out the paper sale that Stampin' Up have got. It's running till the end of August. It's 4 weeks long, so it started on the 4th, so about a week ago. Right. So this paper, like I said, I stash dived and borrowed some from Wildflower Celebrations, I think. Was the paper pack. Wildflower Birthday was the scrapbook workshop kit. The other paper that I borrowed is from another current pack. Can you guess? I'm going to give you a moment. It's only a very small scrap, I do have to say. But these pieces, all the letters, they all came from it on this side. It is the adventure one from the start of the year. Let me see, have I got it? Yes, I've got it just here. Not that one, this one. Here we go. Nature Walk. And again, again, if you want to check this one out, check it out in the sale. I've got very few pieces left of this one. I've got 2 full sheets. No, I've got 1 full sheet. That sheet. Because this one I've cut a piece out of. And then I've got this piece, this little piece, and this scrap. And that's it. So I've used it, and I've actually used it more for like backgrounds and adding into other ones rather than doing a full layout just of this paper, because it mixed so well with so many other packs that I had. If you want to see it just being used, Dawn did a whole series of her Alaska trip. She went on a trip to Alaska and a few years ago, I think, and she's just got round to scrapbooking it. So if you want to see that particular pack in use making a whole series of scrapbooks, go and check out Dawn's little series. But back to this one. This Violet Dreams paper. Aren't they gorgeous? These little flowers. That would work really well on a darker background paper. Whereas I wanted to use this lighter paper, and then I'd already brought the Secret C in the stripe. So I used the pieces that were backed with Secret C, with the lovely fresh freesia on the back, and just fussy cut round them. And if you look closely, I didn't do the most amazing job, but unless you're looking closely, it doesn't really notice. That's one of the fun things about doing fussy cutting around like a bunch of flowers or something. You don't have to be particularly precise and brilliant at it. Now, this Relax and Enjoy Your Day and this particular plank die came from an old Stampin' Up set, but because I wanted the Relax and Enjoy Your Day, and then I saw that it had this in, and I thought, yes, that's perfect. Little patches of grass. But there is a new one out that has a new set of dies out that's got a little sort of plank boards effect type thing, which I've seen a couple of people using. The name escapes me. If I remember it and find it, I'll put a link down in the description as well. But I also decided, having got this strip and the background colour being Secret Sea, I decided I'd use Secret Sea for my mats as well. With this particular prom, classical music concert, they have fireworks. I don't know if you've tried taking your own pictures of fireworks, but it doesn't always go so well. And one of the things that I did when I was looking at putting up this layout was look at the photos that I had. And I have a lovely picture of the black swans at Leeds Castle. Most of you, any of you who are interested in wildlife, may know that black swans are generally only found in the Antipodes. But Leeds Castle has a little colony of them. And so I have a picture of them that I took. And then I managed to get one photo that looks good at this size. But when I tried blowing it up, it looked very rubbish, very fuzzy in all the wrong places. So I'm going to put it there with fireworks in. And then this is a picture of the stage before it got so dark that my camera wasn't taking pictures properly. So I actually have got I managed to find on the web a photograph that's under Creative Commons license 2.0, which means that I can use it in my work without having to pay any fee for using it and things, which is very, very kind of the photographer. But because I couldn't find the photographer's name, I haven't printed it and put it out. So I didn't get around to printing the other ones either, because I was going to print them all together. But this it's got the two lit screens and the stage, and then it's got a whole load of the red and green fireworks that go up, and you get a trail of the colour of sparks and a flash at the top. And then the orchestra that was playing was the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Again, I couldn't get a good picture from where we were sat because we were so far back. Because we found a place that we wanted to sit and have our picnic, and weren't going to get walked over by lots of people on their way to and from different places and stage and things. So I picked up another Creative Commons photograph of the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra to put there, and I'm going to put a little explanation on these of both what it was and why I've not got my own photographs, and why I've used a professional's photograph instead. Because this is something that took place years before I had children, so a decade or so before I had children. So they need to know that back then we didn't all have really good cameras on our phones. Back then, at the turn of the century, I was still using a point and click camera until 2012, I think. I think 2012 was when I got my first actual smartphone with a camera included, rather than one of the ones with a little tiny screen and basic camera, so you could take a photo of your number plate to walk over to the machine to put your number plate in when you were trying to pay for your parking. But that's about as good as it got, really. Now I'm trying to see, because one of my thoughts was using these as extra embellishments, because I'm not sure, even with fireworks in my photographs there and there, I'm not really sure that this is gonna, I don't know, maybe it's not quite as decorated as I'd normally do, but I'm not sure whether it needs it with this beautiful paper at the back. I was thinking maybe I need something along here, but I'm not sure. I mean, it actually looks quite good as it is. Maybe, thinking aloud, I haven't got it. Okay. Excuse me. I borrowed this tip off of Chelsea Vera Smarty. If you, instead of opening the flap, cut along where it folds round, you can take it all out, put it all back in the other way up, and then you can load them, then you can keep them that way up in your box or wherever you keep your embellishments, and they slide in and out very easily. So the other thing that I was thinking was maybe putting some of these dots, maybe some of the darker ones as well. Don't think the redder ones will go. So we've got Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape and Blackberry Bliss on this one. 3-in-1 purple. They originally came out with the lavender, perennial lavender paper, but they work very well with this, both of those two. In fact, actually that was something I was going to say with this paper. Where did I put it? Just down here. Right. The reason that I went with this particular paper was because I looked and I thought, well, it's technically supposed to be garden green, but it actually goes rather well with this Peaceful Pine. So I'm thinking that maybe, I know that they do start with the colours that they've got and work to get the new in colours working with the colours that they've already got. So I think that perhaps they started with the garden green when they were working on Peaceful Pine. And it's a really smart move because it really helps keep the limited colour palette thing going. So anyway, yes, that's why that one. Yeah. So one thought that I had was putting pieces up here, but then if I have them hanging over my pictures more, I'm not sure that that's gonna create the effect that I want. And also the other reason that I'm being put off of these pieces, although I love them, I'm on my second roll, I've very nearly finished it, I've got another roll, and then I will be sad because I won't have any more. But I'm sure I'll find something else to use instead. That these have all got a little bit of white around the edge. So again, along with these pieces, they would work really well on a dark coloured background, but I'm not sure that they work so well to blend in with flowers that are on a dark coloured background with all of it being on a light coloured background. So I think I'm just going to put those away for this time and go with the pretty, go with the bling. There are a couple of other ideas, a couple of other options. There's this one that was with the Aurora paper. And then there's this one, which Sparkle Dot Essentials. I am not sure what they came out with. I picked them up because they looked pretty. And they would go with the blue and with the green. But I don't think that either of the pinks work. So that's definitely two that are out. And then over here, the blue and the white are definitely out. I think, yeah, the pink's out as well. So we've got three purple options and two not purple options. I think that I like, these are sort of faceted, so they catch the light at all different angles. let me see. Yeah, I'm managing to catch the light at all different angles there, aren't I? Whereas these are little domes and kind of pearlised. So you get an almost white effect behind them. So maybe not for fireworks. And then these two, again, these are really sparkly. They've got glitter in them, which, as the name would suggest, sparkle dots. But I don't know. I mean, the blue would go very nicely. But then where there's no, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think that the blue and the green go so well as the purple does. I think I'm going to go back to my original thought of the purple. And I might use a bit of both. So, now the little trick with these is managing to get them off of the little backing without getting them stuck on your fingers. Different people use different things. Probably the best one that I've seen is the little picky up thing that Stampin' Up sell. And I've seen a couple of other versions of it as well. It's got little putty stuff at the end of it, and you basically take it, you dab it down, pick it up, dab it down, it picks up the gem because it's stronger sticking to it than the gem is sticking to the little plastic backing. But then when you put it down on the paper, the glue sticks to the paper better than the putty sticks to the gem. So that's really clever. The other way that works is doing this. Just push them off. Now, get it into place where I want it. I wanted it right on that, where the two lines meet. And then I'm going to use a lighter purple one over here. I want it just on that line, not on the white bit. And then I'm going to use a little darker one over here. Again, on one line, not on the white bit. And then do some up here as well. I'm going to use a larger dark one up here. Oh, bother. Okay. And then that one sort of seems to be in the middle colour-wise. I might use that one there. And I managed to pick up a little one here, a little light one, which I shall put over here. Yeah, so the reason why I've got my glue spreader out is because the nozzle of my glue blocked. So I ended up taking the whole of the lid off, taking the whole of the bit that it squeezes out through, and just dipping my glue spreader in and going old school. It wasn't on this layout, it was on the matching layout actually. The one that I said I'm going to do a little bit later on in the year. And one in there, and then one more one up here, I think. Up here or up here? What, do both? Cat hair. One of the neighbourhood cats has decided to adopt me. So we're his second home at the moment. So he comes and puts his fur all over my layouts, because he's decided that he really, really wants to be on one of my layouts. He will be, just not yet. And then a couple down here maybe. Maybe a big one down there. And then a couple of smaller ones over here. What about there? Yeah. Maybe up there. The idea is to keep the viewer's eye moving around the page. So when somebody opens the scrapbook, you don't want them to just look at the one photo and go, oh wow, that's amazing, there were fireworks at this concert that you went to. Wow, look, and they had screens on either side, and oh wow, look at the fireworks. You want them to look around your layout. So I've got some pieces up here, I've got some pieces down here, I've got some pieces there next to the title. I think maybe I need a couple of dots around here as well. Let's see. And then you have a dark one there. There we go. And actually, if I was going to use the redder ones, this is where I would use them. I'm not going to, but if I was, that would be where I'd use them. And then I'm going to put another larger one up here. And then I'm going to put some smaller ones on as well. So here's a smaller light one. Going in the middle of that little white diamond. And then there is a darker one I'm going to pop down here. And another darker one I'm going to pop down here. That one can go there. I might go for another one up here actually. Well, I'm going for the middle one of those three because I wanted to try something over here. Have two up there and there maybe as a possibility. Here, there and there. I don't know. I think over here looks good, and then one last one. I'm going to pop it just there. Looks good. Right. It just looks like we've sprinkled stuff around. I don't know, maybe I need one over here. The problem with putting sparkly stuff on is that it's quite hard to stop putting sparkly stuff on. This is a problem that I have quite often when I'm putting sparkly stuff on. There's another little dark one, I think, maybe up here. There we go. There. Yeah, I think that's done. I'm happy with that. So, like I said, go and look at everybody else in the Inspiration Collaboration Design team's videos, because they'll all be fab. I know they will. And I'm not even going to guess at what they're going to be doing, because I have no clue. And the last time I guessed, I got it wrong. So I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me, and happy crafting until the next time. Bye for now.